So we wanted to get into MMA and start training because you want respect, you want you like the sport, you watch some UFC probably, and you want to get more fit, healthy, and respect yourself more, and you think it's really cool and maybe start competing later. So here is the full guide. I have 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw in amateur MMA, and I have over 30 grappling matches. Here is the full guide on how to start training. No, you don't need any prior experience. So let's get straight into it. The first thing you need to do is to pick a gym. Find a few gyms in your area and pick maybe like 2 or 3 of them which look kind of cool, or and go do a trial class. Trial class is like a first session which you can do usually for free, right? So see the website, when are they open and when are the training sessions. If they don't have a proper website, because MMA gyms usually are, their websites are like outdated and stuff, you can call them. There is always a number, and ask them when is the session and go there and try the the first session. And when you are there, you need to pick which one of the 3 gyms or 2 is the best one, because that is going to be the one where you will be training it. There are few things you need to focus and look out for to know which gym is the best. The first thing is coach, if the coach is giving attention to everyone equally. And the second thing is the amateur fighters, not the professionals, because a lot of gyms can have good professionals, but that doesn't mean the gym is good, because you are not a professional, you are not even an amateur yet. You are an amateur when you have your first fight. So the first thing will be like, look at the amateur fighters if they are good, because the professionals are giving the coach a lot of money per fight. But if he gives a lot of attention to the amateurs, that's a really green flag, a good sign. And then look at the vibe of the gym. If the gym is like a grind gym where they all are pushing hard and maybe it's not as fancy, but the grindy gym is better than the commercial gym, because the commercial gym is just focused on making profit. The grind gym is focused on making good fighters and training people to better in the sport. When you have picked the gym and you go to the session there, speak to the guys, speak to the amateur fighters, to everyone who trains there. Just don't be a weirdo, they will remember you based on your first few interactions. So that was the first stage, picking the gym. The second is your work ethic. So when you are training, every time you train as hard as you can, but don't get injured. That's the worst case scenario. So listen to your body. That doesn't mean you can bitch out and train like a pussy, for no actual reason. Being tired is not like a good excuse and a reason, because when you are tired before you go to the gym, by the time you get there, you usually aren't as tired. Like this, I remember every time I went to my gym in the bus, I always fell asleep. But when I got there, I was training okay. I was not as tired, and You know, also maybe more sleep is, you won't get as tired. But yeah, so if you feel like you have an injury, don't push it too much, but you know, just find the sweet spot, the middle way. Now, a very important thing: how do you actually work hard? There are three things: by being full of energy, you know, not tired, by being motivated, and by being disciplined. So let's go over each one. To have more energy, you need to have good diet and good sleep. Those are like the two main things, and not overtraining, but we spoke about that already. So I will tell you about diet and sleep later. Then being motivated. Be more motivated, you need to set proper goals. And then discipline is a skill. Think of it as a skill. How do you get better in this skill? Is by doing things you don't want to do. Usually hard things, because you usually don't want to do hard things. So you don't want to train, you go train. You don't want to do something, you do it. It can be easy things also, which you don't want to do. But discipline is not doing a hard thing when you want to, you know. That is not discipline. That is just, you want, you know, motivation, or you know, you want to do it. People shit on motivation, but I think motivation is great, but you also need discipline. It's like two good things. People say be disciplined, not motivated. I think be both if you can. But you can't always. You can't rely on motivation. You can rely on your discipline. So that's discipline. Now let's go back to the diet, so you can be more energized. So get carbs before training, but at other times than training, focus on fats and protein. Just avoid go slow processed junk, you know, just eat real food that our ancestors could eat. So yes, that's diet. Now sleep. Just go full sleep maxing mode. Just focus on getting good sleep, like going to bed at the same time every day, waking up at around the same time every day. Just basic sleep hygiene, and like have a blacked out curtains, like no light can go into your room, and have completely dark everything. And you know, at night all lights turned off. Tape your mouth shut with like, hold on, with like this medical tape. And I don't know, find some guide or book. Like I have this book called Why We Sleep. It's like the best book about sleeping. Watch some videos, and you know, sleep is super important. Like yes, sleep is like the most important thing in a recovery. Like you can do sauna, ice bath, but nothing beats good sleep, you know. Then the last thing I have here is goals. So before you set any goals, make them big, like think really big, and be like super ambitious with this. But here's the catch: in a realistic timeline. So don't think I want to be a UFC champ in the next 2 years, because that is not going to happen, right? But I want to be a UFC champion in my life, like in the next 20 years, you know, like something. It's still really ambitions, and really, like, for some people not realistic, but it can happen, you know. But you won't be a UFC champion in like a year, you know, nor like a realistic timeline, you know. And like, think I want to win my amateur debut in the next 1.5 years. And if you haven't started training yet or something like that. I've made a video about like 3 rules when you should have your first MMA fight, so you can go watch that. It's very different for everyone, and so make your goals measurable. So also have like side quests, like something that will help you with your MMA journey, but not directly, like it's not directly MMA. So for example, you want to unlock, I don't know, some calisthenics skill like muscle up, or you want to bench 80 kilograms, or you want to bulk up to or cut down to certain weight, and use numbers, use metrics. Like, I want to win first place in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I want to become national champion. That's a little bit too much into the future for a lot of you guys, since this is how to start training, you know. And I think I've told you like basically everything you need to know to start training, and you can get, with this guide alone, you can get to like a very good point. Just be consistent, follow everything I've said, and I think you will 100% win your first amateur MMA fight. Thank you for watching.